Hi and welcome back to Spicy, Saucy and Homegrown. This is the allotment edition. Exciting news. We are actually inside the polytunnel at our new allotment. Didn't think this would be happening this year. And today we are going to set up an Autopot 4-pot self-watering system. So I'm going to talk you through how we do it. So far I put them on some slabs, leveled them out. I've connected the hose and filter already. So what you do need for this is some hot water, so just to heat the pipes up a little bit and make them easier to go in. So basically what we're going to do is we're going to come here, we're going to fit the inline tap, and then we're going to feed every one, and then we're going to have a drain tap at the end. So let's get started with this one. Right, so our first step is to fit the inline valve. We can shut the water off. So it comes as a one complete hose. So I'm going to snip this, and then I'm going to put it in the hot water just to heat up a little bit and make it easier to get on. I'll do the other end as well. I've seen a few YouTubers using this, and it's definitely something I wanted to try, and it was on sale at Robert Dyer's. So yeah, I thought I'd give it a shot. Oh, that was so much easier than earlier when I tried without the hot water. Right, so we've got our valve in. So next, to measure up, see, I've placed these here and here. So we're going to have one going off there, come down a bit, one going off there, and so on. So the next step is I'm going to measure to where I want that to sit, which is going to be in line with there. So I'm going to cut this bit, dunk it in the water, and then what I want to do is put this through. So how you do this, I'm going to add that to some hot water quickly. First, let's heat it up. I'm going to put my little valve on there, the T valve, so that feeds that pot. So how I saw is you feed it through this rubber grommet. It does take a bit to get that through. Actually, you gotta push it through. Oh Christ, that is hard. Yeah. So let's try this again with a colder end now. That might give it a bit more push through. Ah, there we go. So when you go through the rubber grommets, don't heat them up. So I'll push that and the rubber grommet now back into the Autopot system. This takes a good bit of wrestling to get in. There we go, we've got the grommet flash. So what we want to do is now heat up that little bit of pipe that's in there. And now with the little float valve, or the special float valve, you need to put on that first, push this onto the end, like so, and then tighten it up. So let's pull that up. Make sure it's nice and tight. And now what I'm going to do is just slowly drag this pipe back out until this float valve sits in position. And there's a little connector, well, not connector, a little upright bit which you clip this onto to hold it still. And there we go. So that's now held in place. So you couldn't pull that through and put it through, connect it within one. So that's why you pull the pipe out. So from there, you can see I want to cut around here. And then gently heat it up just to make it easier to go on. And slide it in. There we have it. Our first one in the system done. So with the hose again, I'm gonna measure out my next section, heat that up, and let's join it on. Doesn't take long to heat these up, and it makes it so easy to get on the mouth. So that's the next one, and as we learned with this one, let's not heat this one up. I'll try and do it with a grommet in situ. Yeah, this time all I've done was just lightly wet the outside of the pipe and it slid through. So same as before, undo this little black piece, like the retaining collar, slide that over first, and then heat this little bit up again now. And then slide that onto the nipple. When that's on, you just tighten down this retaining collar. And as I said, this is the raised bit here, which you're clipping on that bit too. So I'm going to slide the pipe right out again. And then just clip that onto there, and then put the float valve back. So that was easy. Cut that there. And then we have it. That's 2 pots in now. So next step, I'm going to move the camera and go down to the next 2 pots. Right, first I'm going to run this bit of hose across to the next 2 pots. There, onto the nipple of the T-junction. And then we're going to cut there. Pushing through. It comes out nice and easy. Put the retaining collar on, then slide that onto the nipple. And then just pull the retaining collar up and tighten it in place. Next, you can just drag the pipe back out and locate the little pin at the back to put the clamp on, and then we go. That's another one, and it's like cutting. And on to the final pot. I'm going to put this on Now, tighten up the final bit. Pull this back out. And clip onto the bracket. And that is that. Just need to connect it to there. Now the only bit to do now is fit the tap to drain the system down. So I'm going to make sure that's closed. There's a little direction of water. You just want it facing the side. So that way it's closed. Let's heat up a little bit of water. Put it on the last section of the T. And I'm going to leave a little bit on the end so I can put it into a bucket or something. So I'm just going to cut the pipe about 2.5 foot. And then slide it on. And then that will stop any water coming out the end. And it will allow us to drain the system down. Right, so here we have it. It's the bucket here. This is raised up. It comes out the bucket, through the tap, and it splits all the way into each pot and the drain pot. So what to do next is I'm going to fill up the bucket and test it works. So I'm just adding a little bit of water on it first because I just want to check it hasn't got any leaks. But I also want to mix the nutrients up, so I don't want that to be alright. So I can see they're all filling up. That's good. So I'm going to turn off the supply now. And then I'm going to fill the rest of it up, add some nutrients. And we're going to go. So before I put the last bucket in, I'm going to put in some of the nutrient mix. So you've got 35 litres and it says growth 5 ml per litre. So about 175 ml of this, which is a 300 ml bottle. So just over half the bottle I'm willing to put in. And then I'm going to put the rest in just to mix that in the solution up in there. So with that, I'm going to place the covers, these little kind of protector covers, over the top of the system. These are really handy, kind of keeps any dirt out. They only go on one way. And next, the chillies. So we're going to put this one here, one here, one here, and then these over here. So that gives us our 4 chillies and our system. I'm actually going to take one of the covers off just to double check. Oh, right. Yeah, just to double check it feels. And then now I'm just going to turn it on and let it do its thing. I can see they're filling up. As you can see, it's just slowly trickling in there. And what is special about this is it won't keep letting water in. It will let the plant empty from the water first, then it will fill up again. So it's not constantly sitting in water. Plant uses the water and then it refills itself, which is a really smart system. Right, and that's how we set up our Autopot system. Very simple to set up. Inside the pots we have a mix of cocoa coir and perlite, about 50-50 mixed in there. And the only compost that's in there that the original plants were growing in, and we've just planted that in there. So it's an inert substrate, so it's going to get all of its nutrients from the water. Thank you very much for watching. If you did find this helpful, please do like and subscribe to our channel, and we'll be doing more of these kind of videos. And what I'll do is I'll keep you up to date with the progress of how these are getting on versus how the other chillies are doing in the standard pots. We've got a couple that we're growing here and over there as well in standard pots, so it'd be interesting to see how the side-by-side comparison stacks up with these plants to them plants. So yeah, thank you very much for watching, and then until next time, I'll see you later.